Lotfullah Najah Fazada is an Afghan civil society representative at the UN meeting on Afghanistan here in Doha. Thank you so much for joining us here in the studio. First of all, can you just give us a bit of context here? How significant is this meeting? I understand it's the second within a year. And I guess what is actually hoping to be achieved?
Thank you, Tom. This is quite significant for Afghanistan, given that the Taliban have actually waged war against women of Afghanistan. Girls are not allowed to go to school. Civil liberties are limited and restricted. Media is censored. This is very important that the international community, hosted by the UN Secretary General, is gathering here in Doha for 2 days of intense talks to address three fundamental questions. One, how to improve international consensus in Afghanistan, the Western world and regional players. Second, how to deal with the Taliban, how to make them change their policies. And third, what kind of a political roadmap they can design for Afghanistan, basically what to do next.
Yeah. Well, well, let's stick with point number 2 that you made, how to deal with the Taliban. As we mentioned, no Taliban leaders are attending this. So how does that affect how the international community, how the UN goes about doing that?
This is quite significant that they have chosen not to show up. I think this is a strategic mistake. But in the same time, this is helping the international community to engage with other Afghans, to hear their views. But at some point, I think it's very important also for the Taliban to understand where the world stands. And at the moment, the world has chosen to go ahead without the Taliban. Probably this is not something that they expected.
Right. Do you expect that to continue, though?
I think it's very important for the international community to build that consensus that is critical internationally and deal with the Taliban with one voice. You also mentioned that one of the things that it's hoped to be achieved through these meetings is to come up with a plan for what happens next. What does that plan look like at this stage? At the moment, I think the international community is trying to come up with a strategy, a roadmap that is going to be executed by a new appointment of a special envoy for Afghanistan, appointed by the UN Secretary General very soon. And that individual will be in charge of dealing with Afghanistan on behalf of the entire international community, not only the UN, not only the West. And that is something that they would like to achieve here, get consensus and approval from regional players, and also discuss with other Afghans, including a group of 5 members of the civil society, to see what they have to say about human rights situation, about other restrictions that are in Afghanistan, about, of course, access to education and health, access to justice. These are important elements for ordinary Afghans to deal with.
Well, thank you so much. We really do appreciate your time. We'll have to leave it there. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.